Morning, heart and soul. I am I'm actually in this place of very mixed emotions because on the one hand, I'm very enthusiastic and looking forward to our ritual that we'll have next Sunday. And at the same time, I have a lot of feelings about it because the ritual is born out of an awareness that for many people, this time of year is joyous. Families come together and they have a great time. And then for many other people, it's not that kind of time. It doesn't, it might have once been, and it might never have been. And what we want to make sure that we do is to honor what's present. And we'll spend some time encouraging you to honor your feelings, your fears, your doubts. One of the things as a minister in practice, teaching and endeavoring to practice science of mind principles is that often students and folks new, and sometimes folks who have been around for quite some time, have a sense that what we are teaching and saying is inviting you into denial. So that if you are having a physical discomfort, you might even have a diagnosis and prognosis, that we are never inviting you to pretend like you don't. It is to look it in the eye, honor it, and then make a choice for your life and your living. And so this is, next week will be the invitation and opportunity to sit in, stand in, declare for self where you are across your life and living. Where there's pain, where there's doubt, where there's confusion, where there's diagnosis, prognosis, where there's separation in family, where there is a sense of what I'm going to call lack and limitation. To bring all of that, would you understand if I said to the altar? And to be willing to honor that it's present for you. If it's not present for you, it's not present for you at the time. But if it is, say so. And then out of the saying so, out of the acknowledgement, we'll make choices. Each one to his, her, and their best knowing in the moment. Does this make sense? Any question about what we're going to do? Because I want to invite you to encourage anyone in your life, anyone you know, who is in that place of discomfort. No matter how long, they may have just arrived there as you bring it up, or they may be in a pattern of disappointment and separation. And this will be the place for them to be next Sunday for sure. A safe space for exactly that. If your friend or family or you meet with us virtually, then all I ask of you is show up and show up on time and bring at least one candle. We'll be lighting candles, and if you have one candle, that will be sufficient. If you know you're a candle person and you're going to want to light multiple candles, then bring multiple candles. Take care of yourself. And any candle, a battery-operated candle will work. a wax lit candle, whatever you want to do. Be safe, handle you, and just show up and encourage others. It's a time of healing. And given that many of us will be setting a clear and new intention for 2026, this is the way to clear the decks. This is the way to clear our heart. This is the way to come to a centered place where we can absolutely declare for ourselves newness with an appropriate expectation. I was choosing my words there because if you're not doing the work, you really have no right to have an expectation of a change. Y'all know the axiom. If I keep on doing what I've always done, I will only get what I've always gotten. And so this is an opportunity to interrupt that. Yes? Any questions for me? This feels to me like a huge opportunity. It may not be for everyone, but you may know someone for whom it is a huge opportunity. Be sure you offer it to them. Thank you. That's what we'll be up to. Now let's see if my note says anything else. Yes. And I'm going to talk about this a little bit in my talk, maybe later. I think I will. That you all know I don't know. Each generation is both receiver and transmitter. This is, our ritual and our living and what we're up to at heart and soul has this at the core, that there's a responsibility that is written on our hearts. That we didn't just arrive here to do whatever it is comes to our mind. That there's something about honoring what has shaped us, transforming what has wounded us, and intentionally passing forward what heals. I don't know about you, but I was raised in a way that my parents always made it clear to me that my living was not just for me. That the decisions and the choices that I was to make was just not for my own personal comfort. Oh, there was never any sense of you get to do this for your personal comfort, other than maybe nap and get your room cleaned. But beyond that, it was about community. And not just the community that you could know and name, but I'm going to speak in universal terms. There was this sense that my living had a greater purpose than beyond my personal convenience. Now, I'm not putting that on you, but let me just tell you, I think it's true. But I might just think it true because I was raised that way. So I'm very much impressed in that way. My consciousness has been impressed in that way, so I believe it. You may not, and that's fine. My sense is those of us alive on this planet at this time know that this planet requires something more of us. That we cannot continue with whatever our personal and collective status quo is. The children are hungry. The elderly are not safe. And the list could go on. This is on our watch. And so we're responsible, we're accountable for something more. And I'm not pretending that I know how to do it, but I know we cannot do it without clearing the deck. We cannot make the change. What's the axiom that from the place that you are? Okay, y'all not my lifeline. Somebody online. There you go. Thank you, Dr. Felicia. We cannot solve the problem from the current level of consciousness. Does that make sense? If you get that as a truism, you know that we must shift our consciousness in order to step up to whatever is truly required of us, because we cannot even discern what's required of us individually and collectively from the problem. What we get from the problem is the problem and variations on the theme of problem. Yes? And so this is an invitation to making the core shift so you can see something else. You can see something more. You will have delivered to you. Let me just tell you that my experience is that a divine idea comes where there was none realized by me prior. So what I know is Spirit didn't just create something new. I tapped into it. But I cannot tap into it from fetal position. So from fetal position and crying and whining and ain't it awful and it's worse for you and it's going to be worse day after tomorrow, let alone next year and for the next decade. From there, what that mind activity churning upon itself, what that offers us is not the solution in which I wish to live. So it means that some of us will have to change our minds. Some of us will have to embrace a new way of thinking, a new way of being, a newness. And we can only do that from a new availability. You got to make some space for that. Just like in the physical realm. You can't move new furniture. Well, some do, let me just say. I'm just saying, I'm not talking about that. But you got another corner, you can put something else in it. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the divine design, where you truly are open to what's next. But you have to create the space for it first. Or it's even questionable about whether you will even discern a new idea because you don't have a new space in your life for newness. I don't know. We can test it and try it. Test it and see, yes? We will indeed. Y'all just pray for me. I'm having my experience, suffice it to say. So, in addition to the ancestral healing ritual, which really just grounds us, we are honoring the winter solstice, which represents the longest night, some would say the darkest time of the year. And we'd say that because for many that's our experience, that it's a dark, difficult time. And so we will be addressing all of that, yes? If you're going to be with us in person, and that's what I would encourage you to do if that's at all possible, we'll have everything for you. Just be here. If you're joining us virtually, again, be sure you have at least a candle. Look at here. Stevie Wonder wrote a song. And it's one of my favorites. If you were here on our anniversary celebration, you may recall that the practitioners, I think, in the board, our leadership, presented me with a gift, and part of the gift was kind of an adaptation of the lyrics to Stevie Wonder's Ass. And that just, sometimes when you get a homegrown gift, that's like the best one. You know what I mean? Just the absolute best one. I remember as a kid, my dad was a tailor, and I remember one Christmas he made our winter coats and he made our pajamas. And years later, I was saying to my mother how I treasured that, and why didn't he make all our winter coats and all? And she said, "Girl, are you crazy? He was a tailor. We didn't have no money. He was making your winter coat because we couldn't afford to buy a winter coat. He's not making no children's coats and pajamas." And it had never occurred to me that we were so poor that my father was making my pajamas. What occurred to me were those were my favorite pajamas, that I treasured that. And so Stevie Wonder, to me, kind of captures some of that for us. And I just want to, I want to just set it up because I want my prayer is that you'll hear this part of the lyric maybe in a new way, where Stevie writes specifically, we all know sometime life's hates and troubles can make you wish you were born in another time and space. Think about our ritual coming up. But you can bet your lifetimes that and twice its double that God knew exactly where he wanted you to be placed. So make sure when you say you're in it but not of it, that you're not helping to make this earth a place sometimes called hell. Change your words into truth and then change that truth into love. And maybe your children's grandchildren's and their great-grandchildren will tell, I'll be loving you until, and I'm going to let Brandis tell you the rest.
Hi. As around the sun, the earth knows she's revolving, and the rosebuds know to bloom in early May. Just as hate knows and loves the cure, you can rest your mind assured that I'll be loving you always. As now can reveal the mystery of tomorrow, but in passing we'll grow older every day. 'Cause all that's born is new. You know what I say is true, that I'll be loving you always. Just as time knew to move on since the beginning, and the seasons know exactly when to change. Just as kindness knows no shame, know through all your joy and pain, that I'll be loving you always. Today I know I'm living, but tomorrow could make me the past, but that I mustn't fear. For I'll know deep in my mind the love of me I've left behind, 'cause I'll always be loving you always. Did you know that true love asks for nothing? Her acceptance is the way we pay. Did you know that life has given love a guarantee to last through forever? and another day, until the trees and seas just up and fly away, until the day that 8 times 8 is always, until the day that is the day that are no more, but last forever and a day. Did you know you're loved by somebody? Until the day the earth starts turning right to left, until the earth just for the sun denies its own, I'll be loving you forevermore. Yeah, 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 loving you evermore. Yeah, 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 you forever, evermore. Remember love, remember light, remember good, remember right, love always. You know, I like to have you all singing along with me. Not always, but now. I am a Leo. Always. Come on now. Do it your own way. Yeah, always. Love. Always. Peace. Always. Little bit of money. Always. Goodness. Always. Looking at the better side. Always. Love myself always, knowing everything's alright always. Here in the church there's love always. Outside there's love always. To your left, love always. To your right, there's love always. To when you're up, there's love always. When there's light, there's always. When there's a smile, always. When we know there's God, always. When there's love, always.
That's Brannis McKenzie. That's Thomas Hughes on piano. And that's Paul Eastman on bass. Always. Yes, church? Always. Always. Change your words into truth and then change that truth into love always. And can I just say that something is required of us in order to be able to do that? I mean, those are brilliant lyrics. Thank you, Stevie Wonder. Brilliant lyrics. What does it require of us? A willingness, I believe, to shift at our core. Because if it didn't require a shift, we'd already be doing it. Yeah? Yeah. So, I think, I know where I want to begin. Sufi, just pray for me. Because, look, there's this notion that there is nothing we can do to shift the current narrative and our experience of it. Now, when I say it like that, most of you will be thinking, well, that's ridiculous. Of course we can. However, I bet you dollars to donuts that there are those moments in time where we find ourselves in this place of there's nothing I can do. And we begin to speak to ourselves and others as if it's a fait accompli, as if it's already done. So we'll say things like, well, things that are happening now are going to be in effect for the next 100 years. I mean, some of y'all are visionaries and just prophetic in your approach to this. And some will take a shorter time frame, but we're all projecting, and imagine, if you will, that what you're projecting literally comes up on the screen. And my sense is we go, ah! Because none of us want that outcome. But somehow when it plays on the small screen of our minds, we're accepting of it. Now, don't leave me now. Don't act like I'm making stuff up now. You were with me a little while ago. So on the small screen of our minds, we somehow find a way to accommodate that, even if it keeps us awake nights. Even if we end up at the medical center and the doctor says, you're going to have to cut that out. We still project ideas that traumatize us, that scare us spitless, that make it difficult, or dare I say impossible, for us to be part of the Vision Corps. You understand what I'm saying? To be part of the Vision Corps, be part of the loosely connected group of folks who are willing to vision for the planet. To allow to come through them, as them, a vision for now and the future. If you are projecting a future that traumatizes you, you're just not equipped. You may be invited and you may actually be in the room, but you're not equipped. You don't have the space for a new possibility because you've manufactured one and attached yourself to it. You've literally put it on the altar. An altar of trauma that sometimes paralyzes you and makes it virtually impossible for you to stand for another possibility. And if this is anything, this is a call to a greater possibility. Yes? So when we engage in this notion and make it our belief system, if you will, it truly, my sense is that it overlooks our concern and responsibility as ancestors in the making. Oh. Did I go too far? Yep, y'all knew. You know your ancestors in the making. Okay, newsflash then. Newsflash. Your ancestors in the making. And what it means is that we have some responsibility, accountability for the next generation. This is not the news you had counted on, huh? it's up to us. I don't know who we were going to assign this to, but it's ours. It's on our watch. We are ancestors in the making. And you know how I absolutely stand in honor and recognition of Mother Harriet Tubman, who is, for me, my matron saint, because she represents so much across so many possibilities, just calling to me as an ancestor. Now, I have no biological ancestry that I'm aware of. I'm not expecting to find any, not awaiting any, but there is a connection because I'm making a connection. I'm making a connection that says, you have something to teach me. And some of it is already written, and I can benefit from that. And some of it I must discern on my own. My ability to discern has everything to do with how I see myself. So I know I'm an ancestor in the making. I know that there's something about what I do today, because I don't know what tomorrow will be for me. You know, sometimes I'm aware that these may be my last words. I mean, I'm not planning on that, but it could be. It happens in the world. And will my legacy, well, what will my legacy be? That's for me to work out, because whatever, there's this cutest movie, The Last Word is the title of it, I believe. It's Shirley MacLaine, and I can't think of anybody else's name in it. But Shirley MacLaine. Yeah, Shirley MacLaine. And in this movie, she has a diagnosis of an overworked heart. And so they've already told her that they don't know how much time she has, but it's not much, because they're expecting that her heart is just going to give out. And so she's been a person, a powerful person, a person of means, a person for whom control was the thing. You understand what I mean when I say that, yeah. And so she wants to control even her exit. And then there's something happens, and in her frustration, she happens to see the papers that she, subscribes to several newspapers. And in this stack, as she is moving stuff about, the obituaries pop out. Like the piece that is before her has an obituary. And she's reading, and she realizes that over time that her obituary is not going to be like anything you've ever read. And that it will not begin with the loving, whatever her character name was. It wasn't going to have none of that in it. And so she decides, because her mind is sharp, so she decides that she wants a legacy. She wants to control that. And she knows she's going to have, come on now, but she knows what we act like we don't know. That you're going to have to do something different. You're not just going to have. So she has somebody write it. And she has them interview people. Now, this is why she's living, because she wants to edit and, she's control. Did I say control? So in this, she realizes that all the people the woman tried to interview about her in preparation, in the writing of her obit, did not yield anything she wanted to be a part of her legacy. But she had good sense enough to know that she could either lay down in fetal position and cry about it and tell everybody, woe is me, or she could get busy transforming her life for this short period of time. This movie is better than I thought it was. I'm just realizing right now we ought to be showing it in here right now. Oh my goodness gracious. So she begins to do the things that really matter. I'm not even going to give away the rest. It's on something, one of the streaming something. It's older. I saw it the first time some years ago. But consider this an assignment. Consider this an assignment. And begin to think about your life. Because you're an ancestor in the making. So what do you want? Your legacy. What do you claim? Because you got one. So it's not like you don't have one, and so let's go get one. It's looking at the one you have and seeing if that's the one you want to outlive you. Oh, this is good. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, that wasn't even here. Okay, look. Oh, that's good though. Oh, I'm needing for that to be recorded as a part of my legacy. That I had the intelligence, the wisdom to bring it to y'all. Yes, so let's add that to whoever's doing the obit, add that in. Yeah, that's good stuff right there. Look, across African and indigenous and wisdom traditions, they all know and practice that we are not owners of life, that we are trustees. We inherit the prayers, the language, the values, and the unfinished work of those before us. Gone too far, huh? But that's ours. We don't just get the language, we don't just get all the stuff we like. We must, thank you, Mother Harriet, we must pick up where they left off. You know, yes, we're in the race. So we're passing the, what you call it? The baton. There you go. So the baton has been passed to us. Yes, thank you, Mother Harriet, I got it. Thank you, Frederick Douglass. Thank you, Fannie Lou Hamer. Thank you, Dr. Martin Luther King. Name it. Whatever it is, there are allies, there's advocates, there's co-conspirators who are passing us the baton for what's next for us. And we become the ancestors in training for those yet to come. Yes. Will your name be mentioned among those? See, I don't think Fannie Lou Hamer was thinking, oh, I'm going to be in the video that Heart and Soul is going to be doing, so let me just. She was living her life in purpose and commitment and clarity. Bayard Rustin, no, not a moment for celebration, but moments of transformation, of change, commitment, life on the line. When I think about Bayard, yes? Yes. So what that means to me is that we live between receivers and transmitters. So we are both receiving and we're responsible for transmitting. And this is what's important here. Well, I think it's all important. We are always transmitting. Always. So, it's not like, so we're going to start on January 1st. We goes, been transmitting. Your whole life is a transmission. Is it the transmission, though, that you want to leave as evidence of your living? And if it isn't, then take a page from Shirley MacLaine's character's work. In the last word, how would you shift it? Oh, that's good. So look, okay. Okay, this is important, I think. Our responsibility to the future is not a burden. It can feel like it sometimes. I know as a kid, being in a family, my mother, at least for me, I can't speak for anybody but me, this notion, this axiom, that those to whom much is given, much is expected. So my mother had this view that much had been given to me. And she made it very clear that much was expected. And so here I am, doing my best to meet the divine expectation. And what I know is true is that I often miss the mark. That I have often missed the mark so that I could be the poster girl for missing the mark. But I haven't given up. And I encourage you, whatever happens, don't give up. So, look, this notion about us as transmitters, this is what I wrote, that we transmit our beliefs about God, about love, about worth, our self-worth, and how we hold others in worth, and possibility, our beliefs about possibility. We transmit patterns of fear, courage, scarcity, and abundance. We transmit values we embody, not just preach. We transmit structures we maintain, we challenge, and those we dismantle. We transmit energy, the emotional and spiritual tone of our living. Even our silence transmits. And our action, the moment I said that, I thought about abolitionists and how their actions transmitted so much at such high risk. Transmission happens whether we intend it or not. In this in-between, this is, forgive me, y'all, I kept going after we created the slides and all. My thoughts kept going, and I was troubled by the fact that I had way more slides than I had time. And I knew I'd never make it through, and I thought, so what is it that I'm being asked to do? And I just started, so look, what's clear is that none of us is the beginning. We're not the beginning of this. Come on, Mother Harriet. Mother Harriet's not the beginning. None of us is the beginning. And none of us is the end. So this place of being in between, that we're living between like origin and destiny. You know, our call to being and how we are called to be. In this space is where healing, come on, it's where healing can interrupt generational pain. And that's what we're focused on next Sunday. Consciousness, in this space, consciousness can either be raised or it can be repeated. And freedom, come on, Mother Harriet, can be expanded or it can be deferred. In this space, we decide whether we will pass on what was given or what was transformed. I mean, we're right at the nexus. We're in this place of power of deciding, how will I be? And some could say, who will I be? Whose will I be? You know, life is lifing. And so you'll awaken tomorrow morning and you'll perceive that life has presented something to you. Whatever that is. Then the rest is up to you, though. Do you see what I mean? Because life will it'll present it. There may have been an earthquake, there may have been a birth, a death, whatever it is, and you get to decide how you're responding to it, what you're bringing to it, what it will mean for your day and your week and your month and your year, yes? Because what we accept becomes our internal law. And what we embody becomes our collective pattern. Can you see this? Yes, yes, yes. What we bless or challenge becomes future condition. Do you see how powerful we are? That by right of consciousness, we are directing, we are building, we are assigning our life and the next living of it. In every moment, we receive, this is a Sankofa moment. Come on, watch this. We receive cause from the past and effect into the future. And we effect into the future. So we receive cause from the past in a Sankofa way. But we're in this powerful place of discernment. What does it mean to me right now? How will I be in this? Is it because generational trauma, blah, 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 that means that I can never? Oh, don't act like you've never said it. That because of whatever it is in the past, then that means I can never. Or I doubt that I will, or it's going to be impossible to me. We've been talking about the audacity of hope. Come on, Mother Harriet, help us with this. That regardless of a 400-year situationship, that regardless of that, I have the audacity to hope that something else can happen. Come on, think about your little 2-week situationship where you've already given up and decided that it can't happen for you and that they'll never promote you or they won't hire you or you don't have or you don't, whatever it is. Yes, looking. But you have an opportunity to know something more. To know that something more is not just available, but calling by right of consciousness. Yes? Yes. Every generation is a living treatment, affirming or denying what came before. We got work to do. Because dare I say, I've been noticing, even as I've been talking, that we, same generation, come on now, let's not act like. And we have absolutely taken exception and often criticized. Oh, but this next generation is trying to teach us something because they watched our behavior. And we don't want to hear it, but they read us. They watch and read. And the message they are delivering, come on, Shirley MacLaine, in your character, the message they are delivering is like the message that she made a list of the people that the journalists should visit and talk to and get information from for the forming of the obit. And this is like this next generation, the current generation, after us and the ones after them. This is how they've been looking back at us. It'd be like interviewing them. Ooh, don't have me assign that. Don't do it. We're not ready. We're not ready to even hear what they have to say about us. We're not ready. We can get ready. But from right now, we're not ready to hear what they think about us, how they've seen us, our behavior, our unwillingness to be there for our elders and the children, how we focused our attention and our resources in ways that appear to have disregarded their future. Oh, you're not ready to interview them yet. In time, if we do our work, yes. Here's what's true. And this is very indigenous people, indigenous traditions hold this as sacred law, that we are the dreams of our ancestors. And if you think about that, ask yourself, how am I in that? How am I? If they could come back and give me a bit of an insight, a little feedback on how their dream is manifesting in me. We may not be ready to hear that either. We are the memory of the unborn. We walk right now with the ancestors, not just beside us, behind us, around us. And we walk with the yet born before us as a call. And to live well in between is to walk in reverence, in responsibility, in accountability. Yes, this feels like in its own way that, look, while none of us got to choose on any level whatsoever, none of us, on the physical level, on the spiritual plane, physical plane, none of that, none of us got to choose what we inherited. Not genetically, not culturally, but we do get to choose what we take forward. And we can know beyond all question that we are intended as a bridge. And so look, we are what the world needs. Come on, Paul. We are what the world needs. What the world needs now is our love, is our attention, is our truth, is our knowing, is us showing up. I don't mean just mamsy-pamsy, but showing up, grounded, anchored in truth, in willingness, in divine availability. You know, sometimes the message takes me, and I can always tell because my knees are weak and I feel like I could stutter. And I know it's my fear that the message is way bigger than I am, and this message is not me speaking to you from the mountaintop. This is not, ooh, y'all, the weather up here, come on up. This ain't that. This is me in the valley saying, when you get there, holler for me. Because you may beat me there. What I know is that the world needs us actively engaged in building a legacy that's worthy of our lives. What the world needs most of all is our love of ourselves and our people, meaning each other, needs you. Brannis, Thomas, and Paul.
What the world needs now is love, street love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, street love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. Lord, we don't need another mountain. There are mountains and hillsides enough to claim. There are oceans and rivers enough to cross, enough to last till the end of time. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some. what for everyone. Lord, we don't need another meadow. There are cornfields and wheat fields enough to grow. There are sunbeams and moonbeams enough to shine. Oh, listen, if you want to know what the world needs now, it's love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, what for everyone. Lord, we don't need another mountain. There are mountains and hillsides enough to climb. There are oceans and rivers enough to cross, enough to last till the end of time. What the world needs now is love, sweet love, love. It's that is everyone. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. What the world needs now is love. What the world needs now is love. What the world needs now is love.